Skeletations, my new ghoul friends. I'm Niomi Dylan Sass, resident podcaster here at UIC Radio, and I'm taking you along with me to visit something grave today. This is where hauntings feel like hellos. Welcome to season 3 of a podcast for everything in the horror genre, from movies to mythologies and mysteries. This is Summer in the Crypt. On this week's frightful journey, it's just your favorite upcoming hot horror historian, doubling as the ultimate crypt keeper. This is one thing we love at the Crypt just as much as the horror genre. Pride Month. We're going to be digging into some horror stories that have a queer-ass twist. And since your ghoul knows how to serve up the tea in the LGBTQIA+, I'm going to dissect one of the campiest horror movies from the 80s with a killer that puts the tea in twist. Sleepaway Camp 1983. Holding down an 83% score on Rotten Tomatoes even over 50 years later, and 5 stars on Prime Video. This movie is polarizing to some, which help the appeal in it. There will be a trigger warning at the beginning of each of my episodes, just in case today's dark discussion isn't your preferred potion. I touch on the topics of death of campers and counselors, attempted sexual assault of a minor, bullying, and child abuse. Ghoul, I get it if you can't listen to that right now. Just leave us a like on your way out and be sure to tune in next week for a different dark discussion. After this quick break, I'll be back and we'll do some grave digging into a horror movie loved by the queer community. In this movie, we will see how any summer camp in the 80s is the perfect hunting ground for any slasher. Who turns out to be the killer and who ends up living through their summer. I'll be rolling in my grave with excitement while you listen to this quick message from Beyond. Alrighty, you guys, there is no need for a spell. Let's get right into this, okay? This is She's Summoning. Everyone, please welcome to the studio, me. Yeah, it's me. How y'all doing? Happy Pride, LGBTQIA, and all of the good things. I just wanted to start off the episode real quick with like a thank you so much and a oh my god. So I put out the fundraiser for the Trevor Project. My goal was to raise $200, and I was gonna put up match an additional $100 of that, so potentially making like $300, right? And not even 30 hours after uploading the post onto my Instagram and like pretty much making the fundraiser live on my part, you guys broke the goal. It was already at $220. Like, thank you so much. That is so awesome. That is literally one of the best highlights that I had in like the month of June, and it's not even, today's the 3rd, but like you guys broke it already on the 2nd. That's crazy. That's crazy. I wanted to give a shout out to the people who did donate. I won't say any of the prices or anything, but the people who did leave their name on the donation sheet, thank you guys so much. So we're going to start off with Lucy Harrison. Hey, girl. Next up, Sean Juarez. Also, hey. Thank you, King. John Q. Thank you so much. We have an anonymous donator. You're amazing. Thank you so much. My mom. Awesome. Hey, Mom. Darcy Smith, thank you so much. Your messages was also so lovely on here. I'm gonna read it because I think everybody deserves to hear this as well. May we all be loved, protected, and celebrated for exactly who we are. Thank you so much for your donation and your kind words. You're amazing. Marissa Burke, hey girl. Orterio Villa, hey, thank you, man. You're awesome. Love to see the support. And then Daniela Escobar. Hey, girl. Miss you, queen. Again, this was so amazing. I can't wait to put in my contribution. And again, I have to ride 55 miles. I'm going to be using my longboard. I am already down like 6 miles. It's the third. Don't worry, it's going to be easy peasy lemon squeezy. On Friday, there's a skate rave, and the weather's going to be nice. So that skate rave is supposed to be like a 14-mile skate or a 15-mile skate. So, and they're gonna stop like throughout all the architectural cool buildings throughout Chicago. Yeah, I think it's gonna be super fun. I'm totally thinking about going to it. I want to go to it. I probably should go to it because I'm trying to like make friends. That'll be like my fifth time going. No, this will be my first skate rave that I went to. But I've been going weekly this summer, meeting up with this skating group called Chicago Windy City Skaters. And it's just super cool. Just a bunch of people throughout Chicago have been meeting up once a week on Wednesday, and we skate throughout the lake somehow or throughout the city and just vibe and chill together. Like, it's been a really cool way to kind of like meet people and just like spend time outside. That is what I am doing this summer, you guys. I am outside in a good way. We'll see if we get outside in a bad way. I'm down. I'm not opposed to the ideas. But yes, I'm super excited. That is what I plan on doing. If I do that, I mean, it's going to be a win-win situation. One, it'll be a cool thing to do. I'll get to see a bunch of cool architecture throughout Chicago, and then I'll get 15 miles straight off of that 55-mile count, and that'll be a huge chunk. The donation fundraiser is still up. If anybody does want to still donate, why not? Even though I met the goal doesn't mean that we can't keep sharing the love and keep supporting the cause. So I'm gonna put the link again in this bio. And I have the story pinned in my Instagram, and then I have the link also inside of my Instagram bio that you guys could donate easily. The minimum is $5. Last time I said $1. That was my mistake. It was not $1. It is $5. But I super appreciate it. The next fundraiser I'm doing, I don't think it's gonna be I don't think I need additional help, but it's just something that I'm gonna be doing. I'm gonna get a t-shirt for She's in the Crypt, whoop whoop, so we can kind of like promote it a little bit. But we're gonna do the YWCA Father's Day 5K run. We did that. I say we, y'all. I swear to God, it's Gemini season 2. It's almost my birthday, so there's like 5 people in my head right now. So when I say we, I mean me. Okay. I did the 5K run last year, and I got my job at the time to buy the ticket, and all I had to do was wear a t-shirt for them. Whatever. I'm gonna buy my own ticket this year, and I'm gonna kind of promote my own business. I think this is where I'm at right now in this podcast. This is like my goal for the summer. My side goal is like I am promoting the F out of this podcast. I'm literally getting ready to make a sign, and I'm gonna go walk around in the street and be like, it is my birthday. All I want is for you to follow my podcast and I will follow you back. Like, it is that simple. I'm out here making the content. Y'all are missing out. And the people who are listening, y'all know what you are up to. Thank you so much. Alrighty, so I think that is enough chit-chatting about my life for today. Why don't we get into this next segment, okay? This is Dark Discussions. Shh. So we are talking about Sleepaway Camp from 1983. So the 80s are literally my favorite era. I am a firm believer in multiple lives and stuff. I swear to God, I died in the 80s before I was born again in the 90s. Age drop. But yeah, I definitely love the 80s. I know that I was just partying for sure. I feel it in my soul. But this film begins by showing the landscape of Camp Arawak, where the story is going to be taking place. There is a sign that this camp is for sale. There is a family and a fine-ass daddy in some short shorts, okay? His daughter and son are playing on their sailboat, all of them together. Simultaneously, a lifeguard and his 2 friends are using a speedboat to water ski on the lake. The two in charge of the speedboat aren't paying attention to where they're going, and the girl on the water ski is telling them to turn around. Once they finally do, they see the family in their tracks, and it's too late for them to get out of the way, and they panicked, accidentally flooring the speedboat forward. They ran over the family, killing all three of them. Alrighty, just real quick. That dad was so hot. Yeah, men in the 80s are built different. So I know, controversial, not controversial. In the 80s, it was obviously a plethora of white men. The white men with blonde hair, you guys were very pink and very not with it. The white men who were tan with just loads of dark body hair and like dark hair themselves, like on their head. Thank you so much for living at that time. Thank you for not wearing t-shirts. Thank you for wearing shorts that barely cover your cakes. I appreciate you. History appreciates you. The queer community appreciates you. I think my favorite thing already just about this movie is the 80s slasher orchestra intro that will get me every time. And especially when you're going to a lake, it's not the same music, but like it's the same vibe, you know? And it's always like a giant ensemble band playing this, and it's honestly so cool. So the kids running over the family in the beginning, like I think they cause like that's part of why the camp is going up for sale, because of like how damaged its reputation is being. And girl, oh my god. The girl who was on the water ski, who was like trying to tell the other two, like, oh my god, turn around, like, you know, look in front of you. Once they finally did hit the people, she was freaking out in the water. So like she was literally like, okay, this is my Oscar moment. This is my Oscar moment. I got booked, and I'm gonna show them why that they need to book me as the lead in the next movie. She put her whole paswacha into it. She did an excellent job, fabulous job, fantastic job. So now we are 8 years later. So we see Richard's mom send him and his cousin Angela to camp for the summer. She hands them their physicals, which seem to have been forged in order for them to go to camp. The mom is a doctor, so if they were forged under medical supervision, you can say. The men camp counselors are all in short shorts and triple kicked up on a Monday afternoon. Oh, I love the 80s. There is one of the cooks making, grossly, pedophilic remarks to his coworkers about the incoming kids for the summer. Judy, Richard's old summer fling, seems to have gone through puberty and is getting loads of attention, dismissing Richard this summer. Judy is one of Angela's cabin mates for the summer, so y'all, Angela high-key doesn't talk, like, at all, and Judy is already giving her crap for it. It's been a few days now, and Angela hasn't eaten, so the beefed-up camp counselor is taking her to the kitchen to see if the cook can fix her something special that she likes or prefers. The cook takes her to the back pantry and tries to, sexually assaults her, and thankfully her cousin Richard comes in to save the day right in the nick of time. The cook threatens Richard not to say anything and causing them both to run out. So later on, the cook is alone in the kitchen with a human-sized pot on the stove with boiling hot water. Someone sneaks inside and hides. Is it the killer? As the cook gets on a chair to get higher to the pot, the person comes out of hiding and pushes the cook forward. He catches himself on the shelf above the pot, but the person pulls the legs of the chair that the cook is standing on and causing him to make the whole pot of boiling hot water fall right onto him. Yes, it was the killer. So, I tried to research it, not that much, but I was looking for it for a little bit. The character Judy, whoever the actress is, she's supposed to be a teenager. I think maybe in the movie 15, but the actress, dead ass, looks probably at the youngest, maybe 29, solid 30. Like, she looks like she's for sure smoked a few packs of cigarettes and like has been drinking for a while. I mean, it's the 80s. You were doing that as a teenager. Also, but like the more I was like going through the movie and like kind of watching it, there was a scene or two where she didn't have makeup on and she did look a lot younger. However, I don't think it was that much younger. I think this was one of those instances where Hollywood had cast a much older lady who just happened to have the physical appearance of a smaller individual and just the sophistication to pull off a specific character type. And yeah, they needed someone more mature to play a character who was more mature sexually. But yeah, that was the first thing I thought. I was like, especially because like all of the extras and stuff in this movie, like they look like a lot of them are kids. Like they look like anywhere from the ages of like some of them 6 to they're teenagers. And like when she like reveals herself as one of the characters, it was like, damn, where'd she come from? So we do know the killer is a kid because the cook who addressed the person was like, hey kid, help me, when they almost fell into the pot. But I wonder if he ever died because the paramedics and stuff were called and they like came and wrapped him up and stuff and he was still screaming. Like we can see his burns. It was pretty grotesque. It was pretty cool. But you can see he got wrapped up. His burns were wrapped up and they were taking him out and he was still screaming the whole entire time. So he saw who did that to him. So I wonder if he's either going to like succumb to his injuries and end up dying, or if he's going to pass out, or if like everything is just so painful he can't actually form any actual thoughts anymore until like his nerves kind of heal, because the paramedics say that it must feel like every single one of his nerves are on fire right now from like the scalding, boiling water getting poured on him. It was literally like a life-size pot. So it was like more than just a little Maruchan bowl like falling on your arm, taking it out of the microwave, because that happened to all of us. I've been there, done that. But this was a giant like life-size pot, and ooh, that was crazy. That was a kind of crazy. That was a question I think last episode somebody asked, would you rather be boiled alive or something else? But yeah, boiling alive is that sounds crazy. Watching it now, that sounds crazy. Yeah. I think I changed my answer. I think that was the answer, but I think I changed it. So the owner's trying to like brush it under the rug and like, you know, that this was like a fluke accident, that this happened, you know, because, you know, on first sight, it does totally look like an accident. Like the dude just didn't know what he was doing and the pot flipped over. But he is like kind of telling the police officer like hurry up and get out and like don't let the kids see them. And then one of the counselors like, well, what are you gonna tell the cooks? How are you gonna get them to stay quiet? So he like bribes the other cook, who's now gonna be the main head cook, and like the kid workers. He was like, hey, how about $50 for you more a week, and for the rest of you $15 each a week, and none of this ever happened, right? And they're like, yeah, sure. I don't know if that was good money back then, because $50 a week now extra, like that's, I guess, in the grand scheme of things, $200 more a month. $200 times 12, that's $2,400 more a year. That is a nice kind of raise. But now you have all these responsibilities. I am wondering how much the dude was getting paid and if it was an equal pay bump. But back then too, that kind of like with inflation not being Inflation Lopez back then and it being cheaper to buy basically everything, that probably did go a long way. I would have been like, thank you so much for that $50. A lot of stuff so far that is funny to me is there's a lot of young immature boys, but they have the funniest ways to insult people. One of the ones was like peckerheads. That one's funny. I'm bringing that one into my vocabulary again. This is a quote. Somebody said, "Eat shit and die, Ricky," and he was like, "You know what? Eat shit and live." And I was like, valid. Alrighty, you guys, let's get back into the movie. It goes back to the boys' cabin. Richard and his buddies are playing a prank on one of the boys where he is blindfolded. Using mind over matter, he has to sit up when his blindfold is taking off. Even though his body wants to not to, he needs to have all of his mental force and push himself forward. So, as soon as they take his blindfold off and he uses all of his might to push himself forward, he gets a face first right into a bare booty, which was wild. The poor nerdy kid. All right, next, we see a baseball game happen between the young kids and the older boys where the kids end up beating them. The big baby boys plan to get back at them for beating them. Now we are at the camp function where the older guys are messing with Angela and invite her to meet them down at the lake for a swim later in the night. She is unamused. Richard comes in and starts fighting with them, and it turns into a giant brawl. Paul, who seems to be the camp heartthrob for the girls her age, goes to check on Angela after and comforts her. She finally talks and says goodnight back to him. Aww, and Judy is pressed like a panini watching the whole thing. It pans to all the older guys going skinny dipping, and the jerk who was messing with Angela is taking one of the girls on a canoe ride. He messes with the girl he's taking on this ride and flips over the whole ass canoe they are riding on. The girl swims away, and someone pops out of the water and drowns that jerk. As he deserves, might I add. His body washes up the next day, and the hot counselor finds it all water damage and the snake coming out of his mouth. So anytime, this is like the third thing this summer that has happened at this camp, and the owner is crashing out, okay? He keeps trying to deflect the blame about how, like, all these deaths and incidences keep happening. Like, he's saying, oh yeah, the kid must have was just playing around and panicked and then drowned himself, and he's literally like forcing a narrative down the cop's throat so then he can probably go and write that in the report and, you know, claim it as an accident, even though it was probably something spookier. I noticed that Judy, she's out and about and she has a shirt with her name on it. Thank you, Judy. And yeah. I think what was kind of like perplexing, not perplexing. I think what was kind of like ironic, ironic's the word. I think what was kind of ironic about this dude's death inside of the boat, he was teasing the girl that was on the boat about water snakes and they're gonna eat you, blah 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 blah. And then when his body's found the next day, it looks like his body not only was already like decomposing in the water from like water rot or whatever, but it looks like he was getting eaten up by a bunch of snakes in the water, and there was the snake coming out of his like mouth and eye. It was so cool. And by cool, I do mean gross. The girls are starting to grow very jealous of the special attention that Angela's getting. And Paul and Angela end up sneaking off, and Paul gives her a goodnight kiss. Then, in the boys' cabin, they are pranking that nerd again with the shaving cream on the hand while he's sleeping bit. But he ends up chasing the boys around with a knife when he wakes up with shaving cream all over him. The next day, everyone is at the lake, and Paul goes to surprise Angela, but Judy comes to tease them. Another one of the mean girls, I believe her name is Meg, she came to press her about why she isn't getting into the lake. Judy asks Angela why she doesn't shower with the rest of them too, and then accuses her of not going through puberty or being queer. She was like, so, what are ya? Queer? The head girl camp counselor gets her to stop being a jerk to her by slapping Judy across the face. Thank you, camp counselor. Angela decides to go down to see her cousin, and then the boys start throwing water balloons at her. Now, one of the boys who was all tormenting her is alone. So the killer thought a nest of bees releasing into the stall where he was taking a massive crap would be just as funny as them throwing water balloons at her. Oop, did I reveal too much? So somebody cuts through the stall and throws a what is it called? A beehive, yeah, duh. Somebody cuts through the stall and throws a beehive into the window and locking the stall through on the other side, and the beehive attacks the kid's face and killing him. It was pretty graphic. Like literally all you see left is the kid's face just smothered in bees that already have like eaten half of it with his whole body stung up. Then we see Paul sneaking up on Angela, and she pretends to think he could have been the killer, and they both sneak off by the lake before they get caught or murdered. While the two are making out, she's having a weird memory of her growing up, and it scares her away from that Mad Max sesh. Judy is telling Paul that he shouldn't waste time with Angela and go hang out with her instead. Angela goes to help Richard get the flag in the game Catch the Flag the whole camp is playing. This is when Angela and Richard catch Paul and Judy kissing in the woods. Angela runs off and Paul tries to go after her. She ends up by the lake and the two mean girls grab her and throw her in while the owner of the camp is accusing Richard of being the killer. Richard tells Angela not to worry because he won't let them get away with it. Neither of them will let them get away with it. Dun, dun, dun. Paul, that little boy, is not shiznit. He was not raised right. That is crazy. He immediately buckled at the chance for somebody who has gone through puberty to be like, yeah, you should just come with me instead, because I got something she don't. I want to go back a little bit to the one dude dying from the bees. Right before he died, he was going into the stall to use the bathroom. He sits down on the toilet. He pulls down the pants. There are no underwear in his shorts, which I find alarming. You should be wearing underwear. Thank you so much. And then not only that, as soon as he hears somebody kind of like cut through the window above him and throw the beehive in there, he just pulls up his pants. Like he's like in the middle of dropping the Browns at the Super Bowl, and he don't wipe, he don't courtesy flush, he don't do nothing. I mean, I completely understand there are bees in there, and who knows, he may have been allergic, but like, that's crazy. I would have like for sure tried to wipe. At least I would have died clean, you know what I'm saying? I would have no. That is crazy. And once again, this time, this accident is a little harder to deflect from it being a quote-unquote accident and actually something might be going on. But the owner keeps trying to deflect blame. He is like, nah, nothing's happening. It's not us. Nothing's happening. There's nothing to see here. He only really cares about his reputation and not actually the safety of the kids. When they had like that flashback moment when they were kissing and she had to run away, like right in the beginning of this little part. She has this, Angela has this flashback kind of when her and Paul are kind of like having a mad makeout session. And in this flashback, it's triggered because Paul is kind of trying to go to second or third base, I think it is, where he is unbuttoning Angela's blouse and trying to like grope up on her titties. So she's saying like, no, don't do that. But he's like, nah, it's okay. Don't worry about it. I got you. And like, as he's like proceeding, that's what kind of triggers this flashback. And it is a flashback of her and Richard. When they were younger, they're kind of spying on two gay dudes, like doing gay stuff in bed together, naked. And they're like kind of like peeking around the corner and laughing. And then it like goes to them two still young, and then they're in a different room, and then kind of like Richard's just pointing at Angela. And what I got from that is like Richard was pointing at Angela saying like, haha, that's you, like you're a gay guy. And that will make sense in a little bit, okay? If y'all have seen the movie, then you already know where it's about to go down, all right? But so we're gearing towards the end. One of the mean girls has a creepy date and is taking a shower in a secluded cabin to get ready. All right, I'm going to pause right there real quick before I forget to talk about this part. So, the owner of the camp, who I'm just going to put an age on him, he's probably like in the 80s. They smoke a lot of cigarettes, so they look a little older. He's probably maybe solid 50. And one of the Meg, one of the mean camp counselors, she goes and is all like, "Hey, so you remember that time when like you told me like you would get me dinner? Yeah, I'm off tonight." And then the dude was like, "Yeah, why don't you come over at 9:30? Yeah, 9:30. Gross! Oh my god, that is so gross. Like, come on. I know it was the 80s, but come on, brother. She was the camp counselor, so she may have been over 18, but the actress looked younger than the actress playing Judy. I'm just gonna say that. But that was the date Meg was getting ready for. She was getting all ready and secretive. She didn't want to tell nobody who she was gonna go meet, but yeah, she was gonna go meet the owner dude. Gross. And if y'all see what he looks like, it's double gross. All right, so when she's all alone taking a shower, this is where the killer stabs her right through the shower curtain and drags the knife straight down her spine. In the next scene, Paul is trying to apologize to Angela for calling her a prude and kissing Judy, but she's not buying it. Whoever the killer is has one mean girl down and one to go. Now the killer is sneaking into Judy's cabin in the middle of the night and suffocates her with a pillow until the life leaves her body. After, Judy's body gets thrown under the bed as a way to hide it from being seen. For the time being. Now, all the kids are coming up dead left and right. Another counselor comes across 3 bodies completely wrecked in the woods. Honestly, I don't even know why these ones died, but they died. There was 3 of them, and they were torn to shreds. Like, it looked like a bear got them. I smell a bloodbath happening, but nobody knows who it is to blame still for all of this. I mean, there's some suspicions. There are definitely some big suspicions. All the other campers, still unaware, all begin to go to their bunks, and it pans to the owner who is trying to kill Richard because he still thinks he's the killer. And this old man is literally beating the fuck out this little kid, bro. Like, he is hitting him left and right. Like, this was not corporal punishment. This was a corporal ass beating. As the owner's trying to run away, after he realized that he basically beat this kid to death, the real killer runs into him, revealing themselves to the owner, but not us, and throws an arrow straight through the owner's neck. In the final scene, Angela drags Paul out into the woods and tells him to take off his clothes. He thinks he's about to get lucky, but we'll see if the killer comes after those 2 last. The police are finally here at the camp looking for the people who have killed those kids, and the cops come across Richard, who is still alive but beat the F up. Now the adults are trying to gather up all the kids, and the only ones missing who aren't dead are Angela and Paul. The counselors hear singing in the distance and follow it, finding Angela singing with Paul, both butt naked, him lying in her lap. It shoots to a memory where we see Richard's mom talking to a kid saying that she always dreamed of a little girl. They already had a little boy, so another one simply would not do. Then it goes back to Angela, where she stands up, dropping Paul's decapitated head, and reveals to the counselor that not only is she the killer, but has a dingling. Yeah, so let's unpack that, okay? So, the killer is trans. And so, this is why I stand by a lot of the deaths in this movie. A lot of the people in the movie, they had it coming. They were bullying my sis. My sis was getting, like, they were being so mean to her, being nasty to her. One tried to sexually assault her. Like, yes, you're gonna get a pot of boiling hot water on you, sir. You're gross. Yeah, so the only ones that I didn't really know like why they died, maybe they were just like in the way or something, were like the 3 kids in the wood at the end. I mean, granted, they were boys. All the boys were little a-holes. So, I mean, maybe, you know, what's that one song from Chicago? They had it coming. They had it coming. They only had yourself to blame. Yeah, I am a stan for everything that Angela Dunhad did, because they deserved it. I think they do deserve it. Especially, I don't want to say especially Paul, but yeah, Paul straight played in her face. Paul was like the only one that got her to open up. And then the second she was like, wait, hold on. You know, like, we're going a little too fast. We are literally like 13. Why are you trying to grab my titty? It ain't even grown in yet. He goes and not only like does stuff with the mean girl, but like gets caught doing it. Like, that's crazy. So let's unpack how Angela is trans. This is a lot of stuff, honestly, to kind of like, not a lot, but we could talk about this for a little bit. So, Angela lives, we see in the beginning of the movie that Angela lives with her cousin, Richard. And Richard's mom is this exuberant, eccentric, she kind of like got multiple personalities like me too. And she has some sort of like medical certification. So, she forged the papers for them to go to camp, those physicals at the beginning. She forged those, I'm assuming, to make Angela say that she is a female and has, you know, female autonomy, this and that, even though it was revealed at the end that Angela had a boy's body. I think they CGI'd Angela's head onto like a body double, because the actress was actually a biological female, I'm pretty sure. I'll look that up. I don't know how Richard's mom got a hold of Angela. Like, I don't know how, like, she got, like, guardianship or whatever, but, like, we see in the flashbacks that Angela comes to Ricky's mom, like, I want to say he looked like maybe 3. Yeah, maybe like 3 at the oldest. And his entire like head was like wrapped in gauze and stuff. And the mom was like, oh, we already have a boy. We don't need another boy. That just won't do. Oh, you'll be a beautiful girl. Angela, oh, that reminds me of an angel. Oh, it just has to be an angel. Angela reminds me of an angel. Don't you like the sound of that, Peter? And then the kid like looks up finally at the mom, because Peter was the name of the boy. Peter was the name of Angela, I'm assuming, originally. So the mom kind of is forcing this kid to be trans. This is what the Republicans think that gender affirming care is, just by the way, you guys. That's the real horror story. Don't show them this movie. Don't show them this movie. So the mom is forcing Angela to be a girl. And so this kind of like begs a bunch of like other questions and stuff, like, does Angela self-identify as a girl now that she basically has been groomed to be a girl her whole entire life, not been allowed to express her masculinity? I'm sure she's on T-blockers because the face was femme, the face was fish. But I think that there's still, like, that's like the identity, right? But there's still a sexuality that, you know, Angela's kind of like coming up with too, because Angela likes Paul. So Paul is a guy, and if Angela was, this is all of the stuff that like people are so confused about when it comes to like transgender people in relationships. I'm speaking from existence. I'm testifying, but they always ask like, oh, if you were a boy, like, doesn't that make you gay? So this does beg the question, though, if Angela isn't self-identifying, like, in their heart of hearts as a girl and is just being forced to be a girl. However, if they do like boys and are attracted to boys like Paul, and they don't identify as a girl, is that gay? to Angela, because that makes me remember the other flashback scene where they're younger and they're watching two gay guys kind of like cuddle and stuff in bed, and Richard's pointing at Angela like, haha, that's you. So like, that also like begs that question. So maybe, yeah, I don't know. What do you guys think? It's kind of very like there's a lot of stuff. What I do kind of appreciate about this movie, even though at the end basically the whole gag was like, oh, she has a ding-a-ling, like it literally pans out and shows this little girl. There's a lot of nudity in this movie for it being with children. Somebody needed to call OSHA while they were filming, but it was already filmed, I guess. But yeah, that was like the whole gag of the movie, was like it pans out and you literally see this little girl's dingling, and then the counselor says, oh my god, so she's a boy? So Angela's literally dripping, covered in blood, butt naked, just dropped Paul's head on the floor, decapitated head on the floor, by the way. And the one thing that like was more scary and eye-catching and baffling was that she had a penis. Like, that was the gag. When the trade from the club tries to undress me. Sorry, that was funny. Okay. This is why I picked this movie for the opening up of Pride Month. This is my trans horror movie, okay? This was Sleepaway Camp 1983, guys. Throughout the rest of the month of June, we are going to be exploring LGBTQIA+. And we're going to throw a H in there. The plus is an H for horror, because we're going to be mixing those two topics together throughout the month of June, all right? Just to get some pride in and to get some goth in. So, we are at the part where we get to play one of my favorite games, Slash or Smash. The rules are very simple. I will tell you an iconic horror movie, and we will say whether we would slash them or smash them, and why. So this week's lineup these are movies that all kind of have some sort of like gender bending, multiple identity nuances within the killers in the realms of this movie. Very, very trans-coded, whether it is respectfully or disrespectfully, because a lot of them are kind of disrespectfully. I post last thoughts on Sleepaway Camp. I don't think even though the gag at the end was that, she had a ding-a-ling, at least the whole entire movie, she was perceived as a girl. Everybody thought she was a girl. There was not one like, oh, he this, he that, oh, like, oh, you look like a boy, ha ha ha, boy, boy, boy. Yeah, so that is why I think, in my opinion, I can't speak for other trans women, but that's why, like, myself, I'm, like, kind of cool with this movie and, like, her being a trans killer. And plus, it's kind of, like, justifiable. Like, she killed all the rude people that did her wrong. So, yeah. This movie is gonna get a smash from me. But up on the dossier this week for Slash or Smash, the first movie is from 2005, House of Wax. All right. So this movie is actually a remake. The original movie, I don't even know. I think the original movie I saw is from the 70s, 60s. And it has Vincent Price. He is my favorite, like, king of horror cinema. And he was the killer in this movie, basically. But in the one I'm talking about, House of Wax, the killer is kind of like they were forced to... It was a boy, and he wanted to be a girl, and the only way to kind of do that, to shape his body into becoming a girl, was, like, through wax. And so... they wear like a wax mask. At least that's how it was portrayed in this movie. This movie has Paris Hilton in it. Just fun fact. I think this was like one of the only scary movies she did. Yes, there's a sex scene. Yes, she's in it. I don't think you see her naked, but she does die. The movie itself, I am gonna give this 2005 version a slash. There is some good parts to it. I personally think it is time to reboot this movie. I'm not I'm not a fan of reboots. I'm a fan of reboots done right, revivals done right. And I think this one definitely needs a revival because the concept of it is kind of like so creepy and gross. Like, they capture people and like they're still alive. Some of them are still alive and they just get enclosed in not glass. They get enclosed in wax and get made in their like wax museum and get put on display. And like I remember there was this one part from the 2005 movie, which is like one of the gross parts, but he sees his friend like made of wax and he finally stumbles across him inside of this wax museum and he's like, oh my god, what happened? And he's trying to like take the wax off of his friend and the wax has formed into his face, so he's peeling off the wax from his friend's face, but it's actually just his cheek that's just ripping off. He's literally just ripping off his friend's cheek and his friend is still alive, like not able to move his mouth or anything, but you can see like his eyes moving or like a tear coming out. Yeah, it was that scene was a good scene. However, the movie itself, Flash. The OG movie, that's a different story. And I don't think the original movie had the concept of like a trans killer. Next up, Silence of the Lambs from 1991. Just right off of the top, this movie itself gets a effing smash. I'm waiting to do an episode on this one day. Whoever loves this movie and wants to do an episode on it, hit me up. I'm so ready to talk about this movie. So Buffalo Bill in this movie is the one that is kind of like the trans killer, right? This is the person that kidnaps people and like puts them in his well. This is the person that like kidnaps people and puts them in like their well that they have, and the famous line is like, put the lotion on the skin or else you get the hose again. So the reason why this killer is making their victims put a bunch of lotion on their skin before they kill them is so that their skin is softer and easier to take off of their body, basically, so he can make a female skin suit of his own, because Buffalo Bill has been trying to get put on hormone therapy their whole entire life, and they have been rejected time after time, and so now they are taking stuff into their own hands, and if she can't lawfully be a girl and get on hormones and all that fun stuff that the dolls do, she took matters into her own hands and started doing it the very, very twisted and effed up way. There's two killers that are in Silence of the Lambs that it kind of follows, but Buffalo Bill is the one that is the trans icon. I think the best scene in there that everybody makes fun of. Family Guy's even made fun of it before. But like the person Buffalo Bill's dancing to that really, really vibey song, the dun 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 dun. And they have their pee tucked, and they have like a little chiffon kind of like scarf Stevie Nicks thing flowing with them, and then they're like vibing around dancing, and then they look in the mirror and they're like, would you fuck me? I'd fuck me. It's so creepy and it's so good. All right. Next up, we have the 1998 horror classic, The Bride of Chucky. This is one of my favorite movies. It has seen its way through the cryptosphere, through the cryptoverse. I have wrote about it in some blogs here and there. But The Bride of Chucky is a smash. Come on. That not only is it Jennifer Tilly, I mean, that's why it gets a smash itself. But this family is what a supportive family looks like through the lens of toxic serial killer dolls. So Tiffany and Chucky end up having a baby, or come across a doll that they kind of adopt into their baby, but the doll is like NB, gender nonconforming in a way, because towards the end of the movie, the gag is like they originally call him Glenn, but like they find out like Glenn doesn't have any genitalia. They don't have like male nor female genitalia. So Tiffany is all like, no, it's Glenda. And then the doll, Glenn, kind of like is going through like a psychosis where it's like, am I Glenn? Am I Glenda? Am I Glenn? Am I Glenda? And then at the end has like a little psychotic break and is like, I'm both. I'm Glenn again, Glenda. I don't know why the kid was British, the doll, but the doll was definitely British. But that doll's creepy. Out of the three of them, that doll is just like gross, creepy, sucked in eyes, freckles, green, pale, bluish skin. The movie is a smash, y'all. All right, next up. I never saw this movie. So I am low-key gonna watch the trailer to it right now. It is called Dressed to Kill. It is from 1980. Okay, I saw enough. All right, so this movie's Dressed to Kill. If any of you guys are familiar with the movie Miss Congeniality, the British white guy with the blonde hair who kind of like helps Sandra Bullock turn into the thingy thing. He is the main character in this movie, and it looks like he like seduces women to like come back to wherever he lives, but then dresses up like a girl and kills them. This one I'm gonna give a slash for multiple reasons. I'm not mad at a cross-dresser because that's what this is, okay? That's what this is very much giving. This is not trans. This is giving cross-dresser with like a kink to kill. And there's nothing wrong with that, with the cross-dressing part, not the killing part. We all know, like, don't do that. Don't do it. But this is going to be a slash, and I'm going to tell you why. The wig was bad, period. The outfit, bad, period. There was no proportionizing. The hips didn't match the waist. The shoulders were way too big. The clothes were not flattering, and the goose was not gandered. I wasn't buying it. Slash. Thank you very much. Next up, we're gonna have Psycho, the original Psycho from 1960. So it is said that in this movie, so Norman Bates like dresses up as his mom after he murders her, of course. And this is kind of like a way to take on her personality to kind of make it not noticeable that his mom's gone, that he killed her, but like he kind of mentally becomes her in order to kind of deny the death. And this is kind of like very also cross-dresser coded, not gonna lie. But the movie's really good, and like the Bates Motel spin-off show was actually very good too. I kind of watched it, loved it. It had Vera Farmiga as the mother Bates. I forgot her first name, but she was the mom, and she devoured that role. She devours anything she acts in, but she was absolutely amazing in that role. The movie, since it's in the scope of trans and it's Pride Month, since this isn't proper representation inside of the horror sphere, I'm going to give it a slash. Oop, yep, that's right, I said it. Psycho 1960. Under this context, of course, gets a slash. Alrighty, everybody, that was slash or smash. We have almost dug a hole big enough to fit this topic into, but before we go, this is part of the show where we answer chilling inquiries from our crypt keepers. Today's questions come from the scariest place on earth, the Instagram DMs. Alright, our first question is, what is gonna kill us faster, AI or climate change? Alrighty, so let's get into it. I think they are synonymous. AI is causing climate change, or is a big factor within climate change, as well as fossil fuels or whatever, but we all know that like when you use ChatGPT, that chiz kind of like sucks up so much of the earth's water, and majority of Gen Z has gotten their degrees off of ChatGPT. So I think the more Gen Zs graduate, this is my theory, y'all, the more Gen Zs graduate from university, the closer we are to global warming. I mean, we're already in global warming, but I mean, like, the closer we are to, like, the climate crisis taking full control over the planet, you know, because they used all the ChatGPT up to get what they needed to get done. Oh my goodness. The next question is, what is a summer horror movie you recommend? All right, so if we want to get into, I'll give you guys two. We'll leave the LGBTQIA out of this, and we'll just kind of bring the summer of the Crypt context into this, okay? So the first movie I'm going to recommend is classic Friday the 13th, part 1 and part 2, back to back. You have to watch both of them back to back, because we all know the first one is Pamela Voorhees, and the second one we actually get to see Jason do his thing. That's gonna be my first recommendation for a summer horror movie. If you guys like nostalgia, if you guys love the 80s, if you guys love slashers, go back to the basics. If it ain't broken, don't fix it, okay? And like a new one that I'm gonna recommend, which is kind of crazy. I love the 80s, you guys. But it is a part of the Fear Street trilogy on Netflix, and it is their 1984 or 1986, 7, whatever the one it is. That one is honestly very good. Like, not only is it 80s, not only is it slasher, not only is it summer, not only is it horror, not only is it camp, not only is it kanta. This, like, the kills in it were very scary. The first time I watched it, I was kind of genuinely like, ooh, oh no, oh god, ooh. There's like a bunch of killers that like kind of like get possessed, and their spirits aren't like let to sleep, and all of them come out at once and like freaking murk that entire camp, and it was very crazy. Those would be my 2 summer horror movie recommendations. All right, we'll save the other questions for the next episode. Thank you guys so much for writing in. Thank you guys for hanging out with me today as well. Y'all know I kind of love it when I hang out by myself, because I get to just talk. And you guys could just listen. But go ahead and follow me at my Instagram at She's in the Crypt for updates about upcoming guests and upcoming episodes. If you are listening to this episode in the month of June, this fundraiser will still be active throughout the whole entire month of June, okay? So go ahead and hit the link in my bio. Go ahead and hit the link in the description. Go ahead and hit all the links to get to the Trevor Project fundraiser, all right? We already met the goal that we wanted to meet, and I'm so grateful and thankful for you guys for that. Again, shout out to all the people who donated. I think we could keep it up. The Trevor Project itself has a $100,000 goal, so let's just help them meet that goal. And you know, if you are feeling generous, you can also go check out other organizations that are more near and dear to your own heart, and speak to you if you want to support those operations instead. The reason why the Trevor Project kind of like spoke out to me was because this is like they mostly kind of started on like a crisis hotline for LGBTQ youth struggling with suicidal tendencies and thoughts and stuff. And, you know, just as somebody who's come from that background and has mental and physical scars to prove, it is not easy living as a child, as a teenager, as a preteen, as a young adult, even as somebody who is part of the LGBTQIA plus. So this is why I really do appreciate everybody. I really do appreciate it out there. I know the kids that are reaping the benefits from the programs that are being put out by foundations like this to help support them. I know they appreciate it more than anything you could even think of. I know if I had something like that when I was younger, or had the courage to reach out and ask for the help that I needed, I know it would have been life-changing. So I really do appreciate your guys' help. I'd like to thank UIC Radio for publishing this podcast, but most importantly, I'd like to thank you, the Crypt Keepers. Thank you for digging this grave with me today, but unfortunately, the graveyard is closed. So until next time, we'll leave this episode in the crypt. Farewell, and bad dreams. Make sure to follow the podcast on Instagram at She's in the Crypt for updates about shows and upcoming guests. Follow UIC Radio at UIC Radio on Insta and subscribe to the UIC Radio YouTube channel so you won't miss a single episode every Friday, and you can also check out the other shows on the network. The podcast was created, written, and edited by Niomi Dylan Sass and published by UIC Radio. Music by Arthur Benson, The Friendly Ghost, and sound effects from epidemicsounds.com. If you can't get enough of She's in the Crypt, you can check out my weekly blog, Crypt Collections, every Saturday morning on the website uicradio.net and find me in the blog section.